Gypsy Rose Blanchard is the internet's new it girl, despite being a convicted murderer, just that small exception. But why? How did we get here? And what is Gypsy planning next in her iconic takeover of the internet? We have all the answers for you today on Scroll Deep. Yes, Happy New Year, Benedict Townsend, here on Scroll Deep. Let's get scrolling. We say that now. So, who is Gypsy? A little bit of context to begin with. It's a pretty wild story. So if you're unfamiliar, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, she was raised by an abusive mother who lied to her for years and told her she was seriously ill, basically kept her prisoner, controlled her, while also kind of making her a minor celebrity. She would take her on TV, talk shows, and talk about how brave she was because she had all these illnesses. And Gypsy didn't know any better. She just trusted her mother until eventually she got older and started to notice inconsistencies in her mother's stories, and also noticed, like, you know, I'm just not as ill as she's telling me I am. And then around this time, she also found a boyfriend, and eventually the pair conspired to murder her mother and then run away together. The boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn, actually carried out the murder, but Gypsy has admitted to talking him into it. They then got caught, and then in 2015, Godejohn was sentenced to life in prison, while Gypsy got 10 years. I'm very much summarizing here. It's a very long and complicated story. Those are the main facts you need to know for this episode. So why the particular obsession with her online? Well, first of all, as the trial unfolded, public opinion around Gypsy really began to flip, and a lot of people, most people, started to view her sympathetically because of the awful abuse she had suffered. Yes, it was wrong to kill her mother, but she had suffered in such a horrible and unique way, people started to feel sorry for her. Second of all, the very unique nature of the case inspired a lot of media discussion and a lot of adaptations, and there's no less than 2 TV series that were released about Gypsy's story, including The Act, which starred Joey King as Gypsy. I do think to this day, people sort of look at Gypsy and see Joey King. I think people sometimes realize those are not the same person. But also, Gypsy's time in prison coincided with the rise of TikTok, and with it, the true explosion of online true crime content. So now, instead of just like a podcast here or there talking about true crime and talking about Gypsy's case, you had 1,000 different people with sparkly Stanley cups talking about how she unalived her mother while spooky royalty-free music played in the background. This is one of the darkest cases I've ever spoken about on here. Let's get right into it. Unaliving someone is one of the worst things you can do. Actually, they'd be doing this, wouldn't they? They'd be like, let's talk about Gypsy and the unaliving case. Gypsy. So even though Gypsy was incarcerated this whole time, the ingredients were there for the internet to become pretty obsessed with her. And as the internet becomes obsessed with you, it's likely to meme you, yassify you, etc. For example, recently, Gypsy was one of the few people invited to join Gag City. And if you know what that is, you've had too much internet, your brain is poisoned, and you need to go outside. While in prison, she actually got married to a teacher called Ryan Anderson, who sent her a letter in 2019. They became pen pals, and they got married in 2022. And then in September 2023, that's just last year, there was a flurry of anticipation online because she was granted parole, which meant she was going to be released early. And that happened just the other day on the 28th of December, 2023. I say just the other day, you may be watching this thousands of years from now in the floating museum where Earth used to be, but if you're watching it live, it was just the other week. And now that Gypsy is out, her online presence has just exploded. Her TikTok alone is nuts. She has 9 million followers. Every single video she posts has like tens of millions of views without exception. It's like Scroll Deep over there. It's absolutely crazy. And no one has been more surprised by this than her. She told E.T. in an interview, that's E.T. the extraterrestrial who was interviewing her. He didn't have a mic. He was like just talking to the finger and it all. She told the little alien, quote, "I don't even comprehend it at this point because for me, I'm just another face in the crowd. So when I came out of prison, I didn't expect this giant wave of social media, you know? I'm posting selfies just like the next person would or the next person, not thinking anything of it. And before you know it, it has 2 million views. I'm just like, okay."
Little John.
Okay! And now she's embarked on a bit of a press tour to promote a new ebook she's written, but also a new documentary that's coming out where she was interviewed in prison about the crime. I think it's kind of the first time she's really spoken out about her case properly. She's been really pushing this documentary and has now basically become like a full-blown influencer. And it feels like every day there's a new crazy Gypsy story coming out. Like she said she wants Millie Bobby Brown to play her in a movie. She keeps saying she wants to go to a football game to meet Taylor Swift. It's funny that that's become the place to meet Taylor Swift because she's always at the football games. She also defended her husband from online haters, saying, "Ryan, Don't listen to the haters. I love you and you love me. We're a happy family. With a great big hug. Kiss from me to you. It's a little Barney reference. No, she said, we do not owe anyone anything. Our family is who matters, etc., etc. And then she went on to say, besides, they're jealous because you are rocking my world every night. Yeah, I said it. The D is fire. Happy wife, happy life. And obviously we don't know what her code is. We don't know what D is. It's a family show, so we couldn't possibly speculate. People were hating on the husband, by the way, because they think he's clout chasing. Because Gypsy apparently received hundreds of love letters in prison, and they think, oh, he's just being with her because she's famous or whatever. But, you know, they're happily married. I like to believe it's true love. There was also an incredible moment on the show The View, where one of the hosts was chatting to Gypsy, and Gypsy said, you know, if there's someone out there watching this right now, please listen to me. Heed my words. You are not alone in this situation. There are other ways out. I did it the wrong way. And then Joy Behar interrupted her and was like, no, honey, no, don't say that. You had no choice.
I did it the wrong way.
No.
You know.
Don't say that.
I did.
I
did something wrong.
And then Gypsy responds, well, I did something wrong and I paid my dues for it. And at that point, Joy seemed to remember, oh yes, the murder thing, the whole thing about the murder.
And I paid my dues for it.
Oh, you mean that part?
Yes, the part of it,
yeah.
You know, that part of it. Yeah.
And then fellow panelist Anna Navarro helpfully chipped in saying, quote, murder is wrong, Joy. And that's actually one of the official stances of Scroll Deep. You know, last year we were talking about the rules of Scroll Deep. In 2024, I'm introducing the stances of Scroll Deep. Stance number 9 is murder is bad. Much like in our YouTube news days, I do think we should make crime illegal. So let's sum this up. Why are people so obsessed with her? Why are millions of people following this person? Well, the first reason is just simple curiosity, right? Morbid curiosity. It's an incredibly specific case, the likes of which we're hopefully unlikely to ever see again. Second reason is that people do genuinely sympathize with her. This is someone who it seems like did not have a chance for the majority of her life, and now she's out, and now maybe she can have a normal, happy life. Also, yeah, it's like, okay, maybe it's a bit weird she's an influencer now, but what else was she gonna do? She's not gonna go get a job at Dairy Queen, because every time someone walked in and was like, can I have some dairy please? They'd be like, wait, no, you're literally Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Is it Blanchard? Blanchard? Blanchard. It's one of those names that you can't say in an English accent. It's like saying Chandler. My favorite Friends character is Chandler. You might say, you know, trading that already stressful life of like the horrible childhood, then prison, and then introducing like fame and social media. Like it's a lot of like, it's, you know, much better, but still very stressful life she's leading now. I would say maybe be nice to her online. Because inevitably what's going to happen now, because she has millions of followers, is that like a month or two from now, everyone will decide to sort of cancel her for some reason or decide we don't like her anymore for some reason. Now, if it's for like, you know, if she does something really terrible, fine. But if it's that thing where we all get a bit bored of, people get a bit Andy with the toy in Toy Story where he's like, I'm done playing with you now. People get a bit like that with people where they're like, okay, we're tired of you, Gypsy, now. We're going to like start messing with you or whatever. Don't do that to her. Just, if you get bored of her, just follow someone else. Just leave her be. That's my advice. Obviously, again, we should emphasize stance number 9 of Scroll Deep, murder is wrong. And that's the advice of Scroll Deep, which is this show. Make sure to follow to get all the latest goings-on on the internet. 2024, a lot of people have been calling it the year of Scroll Deep. I can't disagree with them on that one. So make sure to follow and make sure to like. What else would you like us to cover on Scroll Deep as well? Leave suggestions in the comments below. We do read all the comments, all the nice comments. And if you don't have anything to comment about this particular story or about future comments, you know, let me know your favorite fancy dessert. Is it a tiramisu? Is it a tarte tatin? You know, you go to a nice restaurant, you're getting dessert. Let me know which one you're getting. The end.